Welcome back, Alpha Hunters. It is a very marvelous Monday. All right, what we got going on? Monday is we got some pretty good price action already going on to start out the week, and there was some activities. We'll say activities. Some things that happened over the weekend that were big time, as far as a potential assassination attempt on former President Trump. I'm not going to get into all the politics of that, but things like that are very concerning and, you know, definitely can, have impacts on markets and stuff like that. So let's see what's going on across the markets. We do have some really good movement, and you do have the SPY is up about 2/3%. They did have a nice gap up here, and the futures actually just traded higher basically all night. It wasn't like 30 minutes or an hour before the market opened. Now they traded higher pretty much all night, and they did gap up about 0.4% there. The Qs, look at this move on the Qs, up almost 1%, not quite there. Might be there here in the next 1 second. As a little jump up. There they are. They just hit up 1% on the day. They did gap up 0.35% on the day. So people are flooding in, buying the tech, right? Because they haven't performed enough over the past 2 years, but even year to date, people continue to buy it up. IWM continuing to see large flows in. Nice move here, up 0.75% there to start the day. Currently up about 1.7% there on the day. Looking pretty good. Looking pretty good there on the IWM. The DIA, nice gap up. Did have a little bit of pullback here, which is a little different than how the three previous ones look. The DIA did gap up a little bit over 0.5%. Nice little pullback there in the first 30 minutes. Pushing here over the past 30 minutes. Looking pretty good. RSP hasn't really done too much today. Kind of the weaker one out of these five. Currently up about 1/3%. So it's just that concentration back into the tech area, right? So, all right. Anyways, RSP up 1/3. Taking a look here on the daily. Good amount of volume that came in on Thursday, Friday last week. Nice look. Nice. I mean, it looks like a breakout, but we got to clear this high that we had back from March. But it looks pretty solid, man. It looks pretty solid. I'd want to say this is going to be the time when the RSP kind of keeps going, but you gotta get to the all-time high areas. DIA, yeah, I mean DIA's at all-time highs, yeah. So DIA at all-time highs, did not hold that close on Friday, but it was the highest close that the DIA had ever had. But you see that gap up today. I mean, it's a pretty solid gap up. Quite a bit of volume that came in there on the past 3 days. Looks really good. Now, I think we mentioned late last week. Not going to be surprised the DIA continues to go higher. IWM, so kind of the high and where it gapped to today, but the high of Friday, gap spot today is kind of where that low was. All these lows, and I guess it's still kind of in a spot where it could reject and come back down. And so if it does kind of just turn back over, I mean, not gonna be surprised, but I think it would be a dip buying opportunity. Yeah, that's about it. That's about it. I mean, it's just got a lot of choppiness here from about 2 years ago. So we'll see. We'll see. Nice. I mean, look at the flows. Look at the flows. A lot of money coming in, and can't help but think. I mean, all the past several months of just getting compressed, consolidating. How far can it go? If it continues to go, then you're probably just looking to buy the dip. Maybe in this like lower 210 range, maybe like 214, maybe all the way down to like 210. And you can probably layer in at that point in time. Qs though, Qs still have not made all-time highs from last Wednesday, Thursday. So Okay. Okay. I mean, they're doing really well today. Got a lot of big tech things moving today. That's all we got. SPY continues to make all-time highs though, which I mean that's just further of that switch that kind of is going on. Even though we saw quite a bit of selling come in on Friday there at the end of the day, tech is still down from the highs of last week. So typically when we get these switches, we will see a little bit more of a significant sell-off to come soon thereafter. It doesn't have to be like immediate, like the next day or an hour or 2 days. You know, it could take about a week or so. So we'll see. Especially if the Qs kind of stall out here and maybe look to roll over. We'll run through the big three here. AAPL, nice gap up here on AAPL. Be curious to see why they gapped up so much. Microsoft looked like they had a little bit of a gap down, trading higher. They're currently up 2/3%. And Apple's up a little bit over 2.25%. Nvidia, a little bit of a gap up, kind of traded lower, a little bit of a lower retest there, kind of bouncing off the 10 EMA. Up about 0.6%. So yeah, quick pullback there on Nvidia, Microsoft. Kind of getting bought up throughout the day. Apple gap up, sold off, kind of slowly pushing higher. All right. Quick look at the IYT. IYT continuing to bounce, looking pretty good here. Up about 1% on the day. All right. So IYT is starting to participate here a little bit. Obviously down from pretty good amount from the highs that we hit earlier in the year. No, didn't need that. There we go. The VIX, VIX higher open to start the week as per normal on Monday, but I mean it's starting to get real tight in here, real tight. Almost kind of think where's the long terms? Maybe we have a snap up here sometime soon, and maybe that coincides with maybe the Qs don't make a new all-time high here over the next couple of days. SPY maybe even hangs out at the all-time high area today, and then maybe pushes a little bit higher tomorrow, and then maybe we'll see some selling come in tomorrow, Wednesday, and we'll see the VIX maybe start to climb. But VIX getting really tight in here, and yeah, kind of seems like we'll have a pop moment coming up. As far as the dollar goes, the dollar looking like it wants to break down. All right, kind of flat right now, day over day, but still kind of holding this low from back in early June, but doesn't look great. GLD does look great. GLD looks like it's gonna break out to all-time highs. Let me check futures. Yeah, I mean futures look pretty solid. So I really like, didn't really look at this on Friday, but I really like the way this looks. Nice bullish move there on Thursday, and then a nice little kind of lower wick inside day there on Friday. You're going to get that continuation follow through. Most likely, like that's a very solid bullish look there for those 2 days. So yeah, gold, not going to be surprised, keeps going higher, right? Be curious to see what the dollar does if gold keeps going higher as dollar breaking down. Yields. All right, they are up 0.6%. What's interesting is they were just a little bit ago, they were up a little bit more than that. And you can see we had a nice little gap up to start the day, and you can't help but wonder if investor risk for U.S. government bonds, like, hey, what are y'all doing? Y'all trying to, kill political leaders and stuff, people running for political office. And so you can't help but wonder, maybe if we got some yields, investors being a little shaky about that. So I do have yields up a little bit. Let me check across the 2-year. 2 years actually down. Okay. And what about the 30-year? The 30 years up pretty good. Up 30 years up 1%. Okay. So yeah, we saw some pretty good gap ups across the yield curve, and you can see that 10 and 2 inversion really jump up there. I mean, That's a pretty large gap there for the 10 too. That doesn't normally happen. Just kind of, I mean, we've had some gaps before, but nothing that size. That's a monster. That just kind of tells you, some of the events that kind of place over the weekend. HYG still trying to break through the highs of really the past 7 months. I'm not gonna say year, but because this high that we actually put in at the end of December was, well, that was 2023. So we are at yearly highs, but we haven't taken out that December high just before the new year. LQD, a little bit of a gap down there. Yeah, TLT, a little bit of a gap down there on top of the moving averages. Okay, so we could see those probably trade higher. Maybe a little bit of a pullback. I don't know. I think bonds are just going to be in a choppy spot here. That's just kind of my perspective, but they do have a little bit of an uptrend to them, so we might continue just to chop in an upward direction. We'll have to just wait and see. I think for bonds, you're just kind of buying the dip on bond prices and then kind of selling any significant pops. As far as, wow, we have some pretty good deviation kind of going on here. So yeah, we're going to have to take a look at utilities, but utilities are at the lower end of the day here for sector rotation. Staples also underperforming, healthcare, real estate, materials all underperforming there. Industrials a little bit underperformance. Tech is kind of in line with the market, a little bit of outperformance, but kind of in line. Communications kind of in line. Discretionaries, financials outperforming. Energies, look at energies kind of running there, especially over the past about 30 minutes or so. Looking solid. Intraday, let's take a look at intraday. There we go. Yeah, you can really see utilities have just been hit pretty much since the market opened. Had a little bit of a bounce there for about 10 minutes, but that's about it. And then we got healthcare underperforming, staples, real estate underperforming, tech, materials, and industrials kind of in line with the market there. Financials outperforming, discretionaries, communications, energies outperforming on the day.